So you probably clicked on this video questioning the title and probably saying, probably having your immediate opinion. Um, and so I'm just going to get it right out of the way. Short answer, yes, it's as bad as people say, if not worse than people say. This is a horrible game. Amongst its awful camera angles, the most broken ebony and ivory of the entire franchise, and just a plentiful number of other issues. Devil May Cry 2 is just hot shit. A new protagonist who is never even brought up again. Lucia, where did she come from? Where did she go? Cotton Eye jokes. I'm fucking done trying to stand that up. DMC2 is probably the most awful and bland game of the entire Devil May Cry franchise. And that's saying a lot when we have the DMC reboot or Devil May Cry 4. I know that's kind of controversial, but I'm not going to explain it ever, actually. DMC2 is genuinely just such a shitty game. Like, on a scale of 1 to 10, this is like a 4. And when you compare that to 1 being like a 9 and 3 being like a fucking 10, it's kind of bad. Devil May Cry 2 has some of the worst combat in the game, which with a famously awful camera that will just kind of not be there, like not be in the spot you're in anytime you enter combat. Like I said, the most broken ebony and ivory, where you can literally just kill any boss without needing to use anything other than guns. And I mean, that works in some games, that makes sense for certain games, but for a hack and slash, where like the entire point is to be using melee weapons and the guns are just kind of there in case you need them, it really doesn't work. It'd be like giving Kratos an AK-47. That's not how that works. Devil May Cry 2 features a weirdly good-looking Dante, model with one of the most just sick outfits, which unfortunately you don't get to see, because, like I said, the camera is shit. I don't remember the plot to this game. I don't remember what the purpose of this game was. I don't know. I have no clue what happened. All I know is that it's really fucking shitty, it's really fucking buggy, and it's just not fun to play. I have beaten this game once, and I used nothing but guns. Ebony and Ivory were there for me the entire playthrough. Why didn't I? Because everything else sucks. They basically give you no choice but to use the fucking pistols. Dante is the only saving grace to this game because he is just an absolute badass. New protagonist introduced, Lucia, a woman, definitely like kind of laying the groundwork for female characters in Devil May Cry, which created characters like Lady in later games, among others. Lady is the first one that comes to mind for reasons. Anyway, DMC2 is just kind of, and it's not a fun game to play. It doesn't have good gameplay. It doesn't have a story, period. It's just full of bugs and shittiness. If this like got a patch in some remake, like if they remade the original 3 PS2 DMC games, that was a lot of numbers. And they just fully fixed Devil May Cry 2. I feel like it would have some potential, not to be a great game. It would still probably be one of the weakest of the series, but it would still be a little bit better. And it would be more fun to play. It would bring more joy. I've considered selling the game because it's not very good, but I remember that I like to own the entire PS2 trilogy, which I do, because I'm just cool like that. But 2 is easily this franchise's weakest when you hold it up to something like Devil May Cry or Devil May Cry 3 or Devil May Cry 5. DMC2 just stands out as being awful. and I can't even give it the same thing that I give to the reboot, where I'll say that it's a good game, because if it was another franchise, it would be fun. This game would, if it were another IP, would still be awful. It doesn't change. It might even be worse. Tony Redgrave is the GOAT, so DMC2 just kind of sucks. Again, 4 out of 10. I'm being generous because I like the rest of the franchise. If you enjoyed this, I talked about DMC1 like months ago, probably September. Might have even been the 21st night. Um, but DMC is a great franchise, and I've reviewed one of them. I plan to review 3 later this month, and that's all I'm going to ever do. DMC2 is just a disappointment, but go check out my other content if you've finished this, because I have that.